Sweet Christ. Let's go to some familiar territory. How about the 15 most dangerous dinosaurs in the world? I feel like it's been too long since we've been on some real dinosaur shit. You know what I mean? It's always like shit that's scarier than dinosaurs, or shit that was before or after the dinosaurs. Dinosaurs. All dinosaurs, baby. This is the sludge that you come to Hot Sludge Sunday to see. You know we've been through some shit when it's just like, oh, thank God, we're back on the AI dino slop. Thank fucking God. I couldn't take another minute of, oh my God, this thing is moving! So let's see what we got here.
For millions of years, dinosaurs were the dominant species on the planet. They came.
Okay, we are doing the thing where it's just like we randomly cut to footage that just has the sound playing and no narration over it, so that's something. That should go on the bingo card for when we make that.
In all shapes and sizes, from the smallest scavengers to giant, slow-moving herbivores.
I like how both of those clips showed baby sauropods, and these are just straight up Jurassic Park velociraptors.
But
okay.
This wasn't a time for the weak, with predators sporting the...
That's a Gorgonopsid, not a dinosaur. Gorgonopsid never saw a dinosaur, but because you've seen a bird, you have.
Biggest teeth ever, and prey that could defend themselves with giant bony clubs. Threats came from every direction.
I like how he says that as the T-Rex rips the Triceratops horn off and then fucking stabs it with it.
Get ready to run for your life, because these are the 15 most dangerous dinosaurs in the world.
Oh wait, have we seen this guy before? I feel like I have, at least. Maybe it's just like a factory farm channel or something. Like this is the same guy as like the one banana. I feel like I've seen this guy before, at least.
Number 15, T-Rex.
Wow, right at the bottom, huh? I mean, I can understand like, oh, it's the obvious one, so get it out of the way quickly, but if you're actually ranking them on their danger level, then I would say T-Rex should probably go in the top spot.
The Tyrannosaurus rex is probably the most famous species of dinosaur that ever lived. They lived between 68 and 66 million years ago on an island continent called Laramidia.
Calling it an island is a bit of a stretch, I would say. I mean, if you want to look at it that way, basically every continent is an island because it's like in the middle of the ocean. Yeah, it's not really accurate to call it an island. It's more like the USA, or North America rather, was split into two halves, primarily down the middle by the Western Interior Seaway. There was Laramidia and Appalachia, and Appalachia is like on the East Coast, and very few dinosaurs are known from there. Appalachian dinosaurs are a bit of a mystery. There's like Hadrosaurus and there's like the T-Rex relative. It's another Tyrannosaur. It's escaping me. It was Charles Knight painting. What the fuck was it? Dryptosaurus. Thank you, Christ alive. Oh, and Appalachiosaurus, which is like, yeah, it's like, hey, not many dinosaurs are known from the Fukui prefecture, except for like Fukuisaurus and Fukuivenator and I don't know, Fukuidon or some shit. I also like how we're using a fight where T-Rex loses to demonstrate its power.
Based on complete fossils that have been found, they stood up to 40 feet tall and weighed as much as 50.
No, 40 feet long is more accurate. If they were 40 feet tall, that would be horrifying. I want to say they were around giraffe height at the hip, I would say. So probably more like 15 feet tallish. 40 feet long.
And even though they weren't necessarily the largest of dinosaurs of their kind, they...
What do you mean large? Hold the fuck up. That's just straight up wrong. I think that's wrong no matter how you slice it. T-Rex was like the largest theropod weight-wise. It was absolutely the largest of the Tyrannosaurs. It was the largest of the Coelurosaurs. You're just straight up wrong about that. What do those tiny hands do? There's been speculation. They were very muscular for their size. So some people think that they must have been used for something, like maybe for mating, maybe for just like getting up off the ground, maybe for like grabbing onto prey. But we don't really know yet. I don't know if we can know unless we find out like, oh hey, there's scratch marks in Triceratops bones or something that are consistent with like the claw shape of a T-Rex.
Probably had the most powerful bite by far. They would have...
It certainly had the most powerful bite. T-Rex had the most powerful bite of like any land animal, I want to say.
Been the apex predators in the region at the time and preyed on smaller and less aggressive species. Since they've never been observed in the wild, though, there's also the suggestion that they may have been scavengers.
Oh my god, we're still doing this shit. Holy shit. Jack Horner and his consequences have been a disaster for the human race. Look, I don't necessarily blame Jack Horner for, you know, wanting to inject a bit of, like, you know, speculative thinking into the paleontological sphere. I don't necessarily blame him for that, right? But when it has these long-lasting consequences where people decades later are still saying, like, the T-Rex was a scavenger thing, then you gotta realize you might be doing a bit more harm than good. Like, I want to say there's still people that are just like, hey, wasn't Triceratops, like, not a real dinosaur or something? Because of all that shit that was going around during, the time where it's like the whole Torosaurus is a growth stage of Triceratops shit was going around. Yeah, Giganotosaurus has a weaker bite force than T-Rex. That's not really a dig against Giganotosaurus. It's just that T-Rex was insane. Like, Giganotosaurus didn't really need to develop a super developed bite force compared to T-Rex, who absolutely did, because basically everything in the Hell Creek Formation that it would have preyed on was utterly massive, like Edmontosaurus, massive and really dangerous, like Triceratops, or massive and really defensive like Ankylosaurus. And yeah, the teeth of Carcharodontosaurus were much more serrated, so they were primarily used for slashing, while T-Rex had like bone-crunching teeth. Very different hunting styles.
Opportunistically fed on the carcasses of other dinosaurs that had already died.
Every carnivore does that, by the way.
Before we go on, we have a cool challenge for y'all that will take 5 seconds to complete.
Oh.
Let's make a deal. Just leave a like on this video, smash that subscribe button, and hit the notification bell, and you will get 10 years of amazing luck and fortune.
Oh man, amazing luck and fortune. We gotta do it right now. We gotta do it right the fuck now.
Try it. It actually works. Number 14.
Oh, deal with the Spider-Man.
Velociraptor.
No, this was not dangerous. This is very good paleo art. But no, it wasn't dangerous. Especially not more dangerous than T-Rex. Like, what the fuck?
The Sinosauropteryx, which means Chinese reptilian wing, is a species of dinosaur that was first described in 1996 and lived in the region of what is now northeastern China during the Cretaceous period.
That's a Sinornithosaurus, by the way. Which I know sounds similar, but it's different.
Around 140 million years ago.
Eutyrannus.
It's the first species of non-avian dinosaur that is known to have been covered with feathers, although they weren't feathers.
Depends on where you rank Archaeopteryx. Depends on where you place that cladistically.
And, based on limited specimens that have been found, were 3.5 feet long and weighed around 1.5 pounds.
Why do you keep showing unrelated dinosaurs?
They were carnivores, and since specimens have been found with the remnants of lizards and mammals in their guts, they would certainly have attacked and eaten anything of a similar size. Interestingly, there's
including not us.
Also evidence that they ate venomous animals too, so they may have even had a natural immunity to certain toxins.
I have never heard of anything like this before. I think this is conflating, I'm assuming that this is an AI thing. I'm assuming that the AI is conflating, the supposed venomous bite of Sinornithosaurus with Sinosauropteryx's gut contents. So, very strange. I have no idea what it's talking about there.
Sinosauropteryx are...
Because, like, as far as I know, like, venomous snakes hadn't evolved until, like, after the dinosaurs died out, so I have no idea what it would be talking about there in reference to, like, it eating venomous things. Very strange.
Are also thought to have been pack hunters, and large groups would have been able to collectively take down animals much larger than themselves.
Yeah, no, there's no evidence of that whatsoever.
And as a group, were one of the most dangerous animals to have ever lived.
No, they weren't.
Number 13, Liopleurodon.
Oh, I picked a dinosaur list to get away from the things that aren't dinosaurs, you motherfucker. I should have expected it.
The Liopleurodon was a species of aquatic plesiosaur that swam in the world's oceans during the late Jurassic period around 160 million years ago. They were undoubtedly the apex predators of their time and are thought to have grown to up to 21 feet in length, although there are some indications that individuals could be as much as 4 times this size.
No! We're still doing the Walking with Dinosaurs Liopleurodon! We're still doing it! Also, we're only showing footage of long-necked plesiosaurs because the AI said, oh yeah, these were plesiosaurs, which is true, but they're also, you know, short-necked pliosaurs, which is an important distinction. We do this every fucking time.
They are believed to have usually weighed around 2.5 tons and were essentially twice the size of a great white shark.
No, weight-wise maybe. Lengthwise, no.
Researchers first became aware of the species in 1873 when 3 teeth were found, and it was based on the...
Yeah, good old Liopleurodon is a tooth taxa. Luckily, it was given a neotype fairly recently that makes giving it diagnostic traits a lot easier. So it's not a Troodon or Ostafricosaurus situation anymore where it's literally just known from teeth.
And would have meant that these fierce carnivores would have made light work of anything in the ocean. So much so, they wouldn't have thought twice about attacking anything that was bigger, even though they probably, usually, targeted medium-sized fish.
What do you mean bigger? What was bigger besides, like, Leedsichthys? At least in their area, with the long neck, short neck thing, an actual genetic split, or a mixed morphological one like frogs and toads. I want to say it was a genetic one. I have no idea. I'm unfortunately not an actual paleontologist, so I can't tell you how paleontologists determine genetic variation in something like that. But I want to say it was like a genetic split. Like, these are 2 different families, basically. Or they're 2 different clades. Just say clade when you don't know what exact one you're talking about.
And crustaceans. Number 12, Ankylosaurus. The chances are that you've heard of an Ankylosaurus, as they were the dinosaurs that were covered in armor plating and had a huge club on the end of their tails.
This is why you have heard of them. It's one of those weird AI sentences.
They lived during the end of the Cretaceous period between 68 and 66 million years ago, and their remains have been found across North America. Surprisingly, for such a well-known species,
God, that's
fossil
jarring.
had their noses faced sideways, and they had a break over their mouths. To have
A beak. Not a break, a beak. For eat plant food.
so much armor, Ankylosaurus must have been very strong and muscly, and would have been able to wield their tails with brutal effectiveness. Just one strike with
The ankylosaurs were mainly using their tails for combat with other ankylosaurs. Not to say that they wouldn't have used it to defend themselves, but that was like the main reason why it evolved in the first place. It's like, could a deer chase off a mountain lion with its antlers? Yes. Did it evolve antlers so it could chase off mountain lions? No, it evolved antlers so that it could fight other deer. But hey, it's useful.
With this devastating weapon would have been enough to instantly kill most predators, and, if not, severely injure them. Number 11, Sarcosuchus.
Sarcosuchus? Wow. That reminds me of a friend of mine and his pronunciation of certain Pokemon. Everyone knows our good friend Ludicolo, the Mirror Bee special. What do you think of Ludicolo? That's how I feel about Sarcosuchus right now.
It was one of the largest crocodilians to ever walk the planet.
Oh, why is there a car there? Is this primeval?
It was only by the year 2000 that enough specimens had been found to fully describe them, and they had some noticeable differences.
What do you mean fully describe them? Do you just mean that, like, the Brazil specimen hadn't been described until 2000? Because, like, I can believe that. Hold on. We gotta look up Sarcosuchus. No, both specimens had been described a while ago. Wait, hold up. Okay, it says that the Brazilian species was described by Marsh in 1869, but under the Crocodilians genus. Hold up. Maybe. I'm gonna call that a maybe. Either way, this thing isn't a dinosaur.
Curiously, their physiology suggests they wouldn't have been able to perform the so-called death roll that crocodiles use to dismember their prey. So what happened?
I have never heard of this. I can maybe believe it. That is assuming that these guys were kind of like gharials, which I can also kind of buy due to their like more elongated jaws with like the bulbous tip, kind of like gharials have. That would suggest to me that they're mostly eating big fish as opposed to dinosaurs and shit. But yeah, if they're eating like smaller prey, but just like growing super huge anyway, then yeah, I could buy that maybe they don't death roll.
Either had an alternative technique to perform the same task, or simply swallowed everything whole. Number 10, Allosaurus.
My boy!
There are actually 6 different known species of Allosaurus.
There's definitely 3. There is Allosaurus fragilis, which is the type species. There is Allosaurus jimadensi, and there's Allosaurus europaeus. If you believe in the large contentious Allosauroid of the Morrison Formation as a species, then there is also Allosaurus anax. I will be deep in the cold ground before I recognize Allosaurus anax. That will always be Saurophaganax to me. I'm sorry. It's just a cooler name. Yeah, like at most I want to say there's 4 species. Unless you want to count like some really just contentious stuff, like the material in Africa and Australia, I think. Also, neither of these are Allosaurus.
All of which had very unusual vertebrae, which is why the name means different lizard. They walked on 2 legs and were up to 31 feet long in most cases, although some fossil specimens...
Okay, he says 31 feet long. I want to say Saurophaganax got like into the at least upper 30s as far as like top estimates are concerned. Maybe even like up to 40 feet long. That's what I've heard at least. So I don't think he's counting Saurophaganax into that.
Have suggested they could be up to 45 feet long.
Okay, so yes, he is then. Okay, so again, that is at least 4 then. Because this video was from 4 years ago, so that still would have been Allosaurus maximus, not Allosaurus anax. Even though I think 45 feet, even for like upper limit Saurophaganax estimates, is too big. I want to say that's too big.
Tons, and were probably the apex predators of the time, preying on most of the...
I forgot like Jurassic World Evolution 1 just had like the goats fucking stand there so the carnivores could eat them. I forgot about that.
The other large dinosaur species. They are known to have hunted Stegosaurus, for example, after an Allosaurus tail vertebrae was found with a puncture wound that's the shape of the spike from a Stegosaurus tail.
It wasn't the tail vertebrae as far as I remember. I believe it was actually the pelvis, which is worse by a lot. He got stabbed right in the peanuts. Poor bastard.
There have also been some examples of 2 specimens being found very close to each other, which has led researchers to suspect they may have been pack hunters.
Not... Okay, the close proximity of so many Allosaurus fossils to one another in like the I want to say it's the Cleveland Lloyd Dinosaur Quarry, that's led to so much speculation as to why the fuck that was the case. Because there's nothing else like it. Like with things like predator traps, you also get the prey. You know what I mean? That's why they attract the predator, like in the La Brea tar pits. It's not just like a bunch of dire wolves and Smilodon in there. You also get a bunch of other stuff. So the fact that it's so much material and it's like all Allosaurus is really weird. So like the initial thought was like, oh, it's like a predator trap. It's like, that doesn't make any sense because where's all the prey items that they're eating? Are they congregating here for some reason? Was this like a flood? I think like the main theory going on right now is that what happened in this particular instance that led to the Cleveland Lloyd Dinosaur Quarry is there was a drought, and so a bunch of Allosaurus all congregated together, and basically it was down to the last man. Like, they would have been trying their hardest to survive in these, like, in this super harsh condition where it's like, it's down to nothing but Allosaurus. I think that's the consensus. I might be totally wrong about that.
Number 9, Troodon. The bird-like Troodon formosus was one of the first dinosaur species to be found in North America.
Okay, so Troodon is another tooth taxa. It's very contentious. I don't know if Troodon's going to get like sort of a Neotype situation, or if eventually it's just going to be absorbed into shit like Stenonychosaurus or Pectinodon or shit like that. I have no idea. I don't really know what the deal with Troodon is yet, but like as far as I'm aware, it's still like acceptable to use it as sort of just like a, I know what you're talking about at least, but it's not like recommended, and you'd be better off going with like a more defined and a more defined species with more diagnostic traits. Like Stenonychosaurus, like Pectinodon. Again, it's a Liopleurodon situation where it's like, fuck, all we know is the teeth. Let's name it after the diagnostic traits of the teeth. Bang, bang, boom.
And were likely powerful enough to tear chunks of flesh, while the victim was very much, their geographical spread meant that, depending on...
Was very much what? I think he was gonna say still alive, but like, it got cut out. Oh, AI. Never change. Except please do.
It's not clear if they were ferocious carnivores or scavengers, or even if they worked together in groups, but you certainly wouldn't have wanted to...
How can you say that, like, oh, we don't know about if Troodon worked together in groups, but we could totally say that Sinosauropteryx did.
Number 8, Tyrannosaurus.
I'm not even surprised anymore. I'm not. Just, fuck it, we've already had one Pliosaur, let's just get another. We're gonna have Predator X soon.
2 different species have so far been discovered, one whose fossils were unearthed in Australia, and the other that was found in Colombia. They grew to up to 36 feet.
I think I've heard of that? Oh, okay, it was reassigned, I think. No, wait, that's also Queensland. Okay, so he's just wrong. No, okay, hold on. It hasn't been described yet, I don't think. Oh, wait, no, yes, it has. So it was assigned to Kronosaurus for a while, but then that changed in 2021 by looks of things. This video was 4 years ago. Okay, so yeah, this was in 2020, so that was before. So that's outdated, but we'll give it points. They tried.
Long and are believed to be one of the largest plesiosaurs ever.
Mosasaurus.
And they had sharp conical teeth for tearing into flesh. Most specimens had teeth that...
Conical teeth aren't really good for tearing into flesh. They're more good for gripping onto things, which is like really useful for aquatic animals. That's one of the main ways that you can tell, like just by looking at the teeth of something, like, hey, like what was this thing eating? If they are conical, then it probably was eating things like fish and squid and stuff like that.
And because they were lizards, would have had to...
No, they weren't. Plesiosaurs, and by extension Pliosaurs, were not lizards. I understand, Mr. AI, that you got confused there when you said that, like, oh, the name of this dinosaur... Fuck, no, I'm doing it. The name of this reptile means lizard of Kronos. I understand you got confused, and that made you think it literally was a lizard. It's not. Saurus is just, like... It could more accurately be translated to reptile. Yeah, I don't really know exactly where the... Sauropterygian like ancestry branched off from reptiles, like or from other reptiles rather. But they're not lizards. They're not closely related at all.
Turn to the surface every few hours to fill their large lungs with oxygen.
You could just say that because they're reptiles they had to do that.
Number 7, Amphicelias fragilis.
Oh my god. Oh wow, we're doing this? Okay. Fuck, which one is this called now? Marapunisaurus. There we go. Okay. If you have never heard of Amphicelias fragilis, I don't blame you. It's kind of obscure, but also kind of not. It's weird. So basically, back in the ye olde days of the Bone Wars, there was, I think Cope found it. Cope, I'm pretty sure anyway, found this giant, enormous fucking vertebrae. And when scaled up, like to the size of a diplodocid sauropod, this would have been the biggest animal that ever lived easily. Like 200 feet long. Like bigger than a blue whale by a lot. But That vertebrae fucking vanished into thin air off the face of the earth and was never seen again. Hasn't been seen since. It definitely existed. And he drew like a very detailed illustration of it, but it's gone. And so it was just this constant mystery for so fucking long that this, like, what easily could have been the biggest animal that ever existed, it's known from one bone, and that bone doesn't exist anymore, and there's no way to study it. Some reevaluations were done on Amphicelius, the genus of sauropods, because there are, I want to say, 2 species of Amphicelius. Amphicelius, as we know it, is a diplodocid sauropod. That has stuck. But Amphicelius fragilis, which is the lost specimen, has been reclassified as a, I want to say this right, a Rabachisaurid, which is sort of similar to diplodocids, but they are definitely, like, distinct, right? They're not quite as long, I want to say. So this still would have been a massive animal, right? But not like 200 feet long. You can see that, like, the neck here. Oh, wait, no, you can't see that, actually. Hold up. You can see that the neck is, like, a bit shorter than it would be on a diplodocid, right? I mean, maybe you can see that, but you take my word for it. Take my word for it, it's shorter. So this wouldn't have been like a 200-foot long animal. But it's a very interesting footnote in the story of paleontology.
We normally think of the carnivorous dinosaurs as the most dangerous, but spare thought for the herbivores.
I mean, you've already had Ankylosaurus on this list, so fuck it, right?
Found in what is now known as North America, they were related to the more well-known Diplodocus, and were a...
No, they weren't. Hold on, where was the Maripunisaurus research done? When was that reclassification made? 2018. Yeah, he should have known better. That was old news by this point.
Similar size at an estimated 82 feet long.
I think that's more in line for, like, the currently existing species of Amphicelius. Hold on, let me check that. Yeah. That is Amphicelius altus. You're kind of just getting it mixed up here. Probably because Amphicelius fragilis is the more well-known of the Amphicelius, even though it's not Amphicelius anymore. Because paleontology is fun.
They weighed more, though, with a theoretical mass of up to 20 tons.
They were 82 feet long, but they weighed more? Meaningless.
Which very few other dinosaurs would have messed with them. Their tail whip alone would have caused huge damage. And they'd likely have...
Look at these little babies causing huge damage to that leaf. To that tree star. Before the sharp tooth came.
And because of their weight and the way they walked, other animals would have felt faint trembles in the ground for up to a quarter of a mile away.
I don't believe that, honestly. Like, if you've ever been to the zoo before, you can't exactly feel the elephants as they're walking, and, like, they're right next to you. You know what I mean?
Number 6, Velociraptor.
Oh boy.
Probably one of the most renowned dinosaurs of the time, Velociraptors were a pack-hunting species that...
Probably not. Listen, we can say that Deinonychus was a pack hunter because we find bones of Deinonychus in groups in association with dead Tyrannosaurus. Can't say the same thing about Velociraptor.
That, when working together, could have felled virtually any large dinosaur.
No, they couldn't have. That's ridiculous. That's like saying a group of turkeys working together can take on an elephant. They can't. Don't be stupid.
Lived during the later stages of the Cretaceous period, around 73 million years ago. And there are actually 2 distinct species that we know of, both of which have been found in China and Mongolia.
I think it's mostly just Mongolia. I believe he's right about the 2 different species, because there's Mongoliensis and another one whose name escapes me. I'm going to look it up. Yeah, Osmolske. Pardon me for not remembering that one immediately, off the top of my head.
Fossil evidence now suggests that they were feathered, and they probably weighed no more than 30 pounds. Despite their size, they were fast.
So let's show all this unfeathered Velociraptor stuff.
Had a powerful bite. They had extremely sharp serrated teeth that were curved to allow them to bite into something and hold on tight. They also had hands with 3 sharp claws, and it's thought that they would have dug into their prey with their teeth and slashed away with their claws.
Not really. So the claws of dromaeosaurs would have been more like hooks for gripping onto prey, while the teeth would have been used for slashing. So You pretty much got that completely backwards. You know, a lot of speculation has been done into the function of the sickle claw of dromaeosaurs, and it's pretty widely believed. Initially it was believed that, like, oh, maybe it was used for, like, disemboweling prey. It's now more believed that it would have been used for, like, pinning prey or gripping onto it. Yeah, I pretty much just got that backwards. The Fighting Dinosaurs fossil that shows the Velociraptor locked in combat with the Protoceratops does show the Velociraptor with the killing claw sort of in the throat of the Protoceratops. Maybe it was going for, like, an artery or something. It's difficult to tell. Maybe it was just like, Jesus fucking Christ, get off of me. Get off my fucking arm. You know, it's just trying to, like, kick it away. Like, get the fuck up. Get the fuck off me, motherfucker. Ow. Actually kicked my table there. That actually hurt.
Number 5, Asdarchidae.
The kind of tired that sleep can't fix. I'm on my villain arc now, bros. We're doing the Forest Rockidae shit again, but now it's just all Asdarchids. I hope that at least means we're not going to see Quetzalcoatlus and Hatzegopteryx on the same list.
Asdarchidae were a type of pterosaur, and some of them were
they were a whole group of them.
The largest known flying creatures of all time. The name has its roots in the Persian word of Asdar, which was a legendary dragon-like.
It's so jarring every time. Just right in the middle of a sentence, boom. Here's a clip with nothing but the sound from the documentary.
It's quite possible they could use these to pierce the skin or armor of their prey, and then transport.
Not really. I mean, skin, yeah. Armor, no. These would have been hunting pretty small animals on land. Not necessarily like, oh, armored prey. It's kind of silly.
But the larger species of Asdarchidae would have been one of the dominant predators and taken anything but the largest of land animals.
That's insane. That is insanity. These animals did not weigh more than like a couple 100 pounds. They would have gotten along just fine on, like, small prey. You're saying that these guys would have hunted anything but the largest? You're basically saying they would have hunted anything short of an Alamosaurus. That's utterly preposterous. People had enough of a problem when Prehistoric Planet showed a couple of Quetzalcoatlus, like, chasing a T-Rex off from a kill. Not even killing it or hurting it, really. Just being annoying. People had enough of a problem with that. This wasn't killing a T-Rex. It just wasn't.
The biggest ones had wingspans of up to 66 feet and would...
How big? I want to say these guys wouldn't have cracked like 40 feet. At the absolute biggest, I want to say like 35 maybe. That's like double the size. That's like, I want to say, the size of the fucking Dominion cats. Utter preposterous insanity.
Would have dwarfed most other dinosaurs across modern-day Romania and Germany, where their remains have been found. Number 4, Pelagornis sander.
Counts. It counts.
And appear to have weighed as much as 80 pounds, which means it's not entirely clear how they were able to fly.
We're doing this shit again? Bro, it's a bird. It flew. Is it a bird? Is it not a penguin or a ratite? Guess what? It's probably gonna fly. Yeah, like, this would have had a massive wingspan. 24 feet for 88 pounds? Yeah, I believe it. That thing can fly. You know, planes can fly, right? Those weigh a lot. And unless they're made by Boeing, they're pretty good at it.
Because this would make them too heavy to lift into the air under our current understanding of the way flight in nature works.
How? Explain.
Number 3, Pterodactylus antiquus.
Do I bring up the Pterodactylus image again? I'm gonna do it. If you're gonna cheat and put pterosaurs on your fucking dinosaur list, sure, Asdarchids, whatever. Why this? Why this? Why? I wanna say like half the things on this list have not been dinosaurs. Like what? T-Rex. Okay, one, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, Pelagornis kind of counts. 6,
And even though they were fairly small pterosaurs, they would have been a force to reckon with in large groups. They lived during the...
Oh my god, you were right, in a big group. You're getting swarmed by them. 7,000 fucking pigeons. Eat this man.
late Jurassic period around 150 million years ago.
Hey, you know how this scene has pteranodons in it because pteranodons are actually big and threatening? Crazy, right?
And it's believed they preyed mainly on fish and small animals. There's evidence to suggest that in times of need, however...
Look at all these better pterosaur species that you could be using instead of Pterodactylus. Wow. That's crazy. Ananguera, 15-foot wingspan. That's 5 times bigger!
However, they would group up in flocks and take on much larger dinosaurs. With some remnants of bigger specimens have been found with Pterodactylus antiquus beak marks in their bones.
Where? Can I get a source on this? Please?
And unusually, it's thought that they could be nocturnal or diurnal depending on when the food in the region was most plentiful.
This is fan fiction. He's writing about fucking swarms of like Sinosauropteryx and Pterodactylus eating everything that moves. What the fuck, man?
Number 2, Pteranodon longiceps.
This guy has an irrational fear of pterosaurs, man. Also, Pteranodon. That's how I pronounce it as like a joke. How are Kronosaurus and T-Rex under this? How are fucking Asdarchids under this? Asdarchids are like the pinnacle of pterosaurs. You don't get scarier than that. And I was just like, oh, Pterodactylus, Pteranodon.
When they needed a break or wanted to eat whilst not airborne, they would have landed on the water and floated on the current until it was time to fly again. This
Okay, so a lot of speculation has been done on pterosaur behavior in regards to like how they eat fish, right? Because most of the pterosaurs that we find end up being coastal species because, hey, that's just where a lot of fossil material fossilizes really well. So it's kind of a preservation bias issue there. There's very few examples of like inland pterosaurs outside of like maybe Anuognathus or something. So a lot of speculation has been done on that, and I believe it has been determined that pterosaurs could indeed dive into the water like modern day seabirds and take off from the water surface. I don't know if they'd be like resting on top of the water the way seabirds do, though. It is possible. I just don't know if that'd be like the main way that they're, you know, chilling out, right? Because the Western Interior Seaway, you really don't want to hang around there for too long. Dive in, get the fish, get the fuck out, you know what I mean? Don't get eaten by a mosasaurus.
While they didn't have any teeth, they certainly had a mean attitude and would harass larger animals by flying around them and violently flapping their wings.
Where are you getting this from?
They're a perfect example of how it wasn't just the mouths of the dinosaurs you had to watch out for, because many had other features that were just as dangerous.
Hey, can we hear about some of those fucking dinosaurs instead of literally anything else? Alright. Place your bets on number 1. I'm betting like Megalodon or something. It's not gonna be a dinosaur. It's not. We just know. We've long since passed the point of having non-avian dinosaurs on this list. Spinosaurus, that's a bit generous. A dog. Alright, I'm guessing Megalodon.
Number 1, Dimorphodon macronus.
I was too generous! It's another fucking pterosaur! Finally, more pterosaurs. Just what this list needed.
Their name means two-form tooth, which is in reference to the fact that they had 2 distinctly different types of teeth in their mouths. Ones that were
unless, of course, you're the Jurassic World Dimorphodon, in which case they're all just, like, mangled, fucked up teeth. that just go every which way and look like shit.
Based on their physiology, they most likely fed on fish and other aquatic animals, as well as small land animals too. It's also thought that they may have been pack hunters and would work together to hunt larger prey that could feed them and their young. Despite the way they look, they probably weren't very good at flying because of their large heads and large bodies in proportion to their wings. They wouldn't have been able to glide and probably only flew for short periods of time.
Where the fuck are we getting this pack hunting pterosaur shit from? Where is it coming from? This is the thing that is the most dangerous dinosaur in the world. This is 15 times more dangerous than T-Rex.
Or as quick means of escape if danger was close by. Which of these would you be most frightened of coming face to face with?
What are these thumbnails, dude? How pregnant is this bitch? What the fuck? Is this fetish content? Am I getting in trouble for showing this? This is just a row of dead kids. It's a pile. I don't want to show this anymore. The most best video. I heart dinosaurs. I have very bad news for you, Gracelyn Conley. There's not many dinosaurs on this list. Hold on. I have to know. Is this like a half and half ratio? I really don't want to look at these. These make me very uncomfortable. Okay, so we got like number 15 T-Rex. Sinosauropteryx. Liopleurodon is immediately like, okay, 1. Kylosaurus. 2. Sarcosuchus or Sarcosuchus. Which Troodon may or may not be a dinosaur depending on how you rank it. I'm going to be especially pedantic and an asshole and say that no, that doesn't count. Kronosaurus also doesn't count. Not a dinosaur. Amphicoelus fragilimus is also no longer a valid genus. Not a dinosaur. Or rather, it's not a valid species. Velociraptor is indeed a dinosaur. Asdarchid. Nope. That's 6. Pelagornis is a non-avian dinosaur, so fuck you, I'm counting. Doesn't count. Pterodactylus. Doesn't count. Pteranodon and Dimorphodon. That is 10! That is 10 on a top 15 list that aren't dinosaurs. Even if you count Amphicoelus and Troodon, that's still over half. Unfucking real. I wanted to go back to dinosaurs. I did. It's like, hey, dinosaurs are the things that I actually know about. Let's go back to that instead of like, oh, I don't know much about this prehistoric mammal. No. Instead, we'll just replace the list with nothing but sea reptiles and pterosaurs. And you're gonna like it. By God, you're gonna like it. That was our palate cleanser. Oh dear God. Yeah, hey, at least it wasn't animal abuse. We can all rest easy knowing that. That dinosaurs have been dead for so fucking long that you can't abuse them anymore. Unless they're birds, in which case, yeah, you can. And very easily, actually. You know, it started with the T-Rex, and it's just like, okay, you know, this isn't horrible. There's a couple things that are, like, misspoken. Like, oh, hey, it's 40 feet tall instead of 40 feet long. But, like, that's a minor quibble. And then it kept going. As these AI videos so often do, the longer they go on, the worse it gets. Maybe we could do, like, a little short one. A little tiny one. A little baby one. What's like a bite-sized one? Because there's some of this playlist that are only like a couple minutes long. Oh, 5 prehistoric creatures that may still be alive, and it's got a woolly mammoth in the thumbnail. That's fucking flawless.
Mass extinctions, while rare, have happened before and may just happen again.
They definitely will happen again. Like, yeah, duh, no shit.
Most life couldn't push through whatever caused these events. Some lucky survivors managed to come out.
Some lucky survivor. Is that fucking ground zero? Is that a ground zero picture? Is this 9/11?
Let's begin. Number 5, Loch Ness Monster and Friend.
I know what it means by that, but I love just imagining that the Loch Ness Monster is friends with like Champ and the Lake Ogopogo monster and shit like that. That's just funny.
We all know about the Loch Ness Monster. Whether you believe it or not, there are an overwhelming number of sightings each year. Furthermore, Nessie isn't the...
An overwhelming number of sightings of logs
Sea creatures have taken over our imaginations, and we have embraced them. With so many convincing and similar tales being told across the globe,
the convincing stories of take my word for it. I'll take my word for it, laddie. That is a big old monster in the loch. You can't see it right now, but it's in there. Seen it with my own eyes.
That there actually is something prehistoric waiting to be discovered becomes far less ridiculous. Many creatures thought to be extinct have been found to be very much alive, so we're holding out that these plesiosaurs are simply experts at avoiding detection. Number 4, coelacanth.
What do you mean? They may still be alive. They are. They are. What are you, stupid? Prehistoric animals that may still be alive. Number 4, the elephant. Have you ever seen an elephant before? I haven't, so maybe they're still alive.
Upon further investigation, scientists found that the modern variant retains remarkably most of the same physiology of its prehistoric counterparts.
That depends, because Mawsonia was fucking enormous. Like, hold up, let's get out of the pterodactylus scale. Yeah, a bit bigger than a modern day coelacanth. Superficially, they look kind of similar. Colossal could definitely selectively breed a coelacanth until it got really, really big and say, hey, this is the first Mawsonia we've had in like 70 million years. They could do that.
This makes the coelacanth an actual living fossil. Number 3, frilled sharks. The frilled shark is a deep water shark.
Fuck, I'm leaving that highlighted.
These sharks have only rarely been seen alive, with most of the few specimens being caught and hauled in dead. Its terrifying teeth are suited for eating squid, and its huge mouth...
I mean, yeah, they're hauled in dead because they're meant to live in the deep fucking ocean. It's like the blobfish, it's the same thing. The differential pressure is a bitch.
Allows it to swallow prey up to half its size. What makes this shark worthy of our list is that it still maintains a number of prehistoric characteristics.
Bro, how long? This is 7 years ago. 7. This is 2017 era slop. Also, speaking of slop, I just scrolled down a little bit.
Atari donated $10. Enjoying the sludge fish?
No.
How does it taste?
I don't like it. What the fuck is this? What is this? I'm still alive, and it's like a little skeleton boy. It looks like a ghoul from Fallout. And then there's just this kid standing next to it. It's like, I don't know how he got like that, dude. He ate too much Halloween candy. It's what happens. You get a tummy ache. I don't know. I don't know what the deal is with this. Click on it. I kind of want to. Maybe in a second.
Number 2, bacteria/virus.
Are you fucking for real? Oh my god, do I have to highlight creatures now too? Let's highlight prehistoric too.
Napoleon donated $3. Never enough sludge UWU.
UWU. Well, you may WU, but I WU.
Prehistoric bacteria and viruses being thawed out and resuscitated sounds like the plot of a bad 90s movie. It actually has been done in real life. There have been a number of...
How is that 90s? Is that like a 90s plot? All the film critics are going back to all the movies in the 90s and they're just like, ugh! Another prehistoric bacteria movie! What'll they think of next?
With everything back in prehistoric times seeming to be much larger, more resilient, and terrifying, we can only imagine what might happen if a team accidentally rediscovered a superpowered strain of an ancient and deadly virus.
Okay, so malaria's been around for a while. So have we. The thing is about bacteria and viruses is that they evolve quickly. They evolve very rapidly, you see, in order to keep up with our immune systems that are also basically changing in order to fight off these viruses and bacteria. Viruses especially, because, like, once we get infected with a virus, we can't get infected with it again. unless it's like evolves and becomes a new strain. Then we can get infected with it again. So if a virus wants to reproduce, then yeah, it's got to keep going. It's got to keep evolving. So honestly, old malaria or something like it would probably be, like, comparatively speaking, not a big fucking deal. Like, we would have evolved to combat those fucking ages ago. It probably wouldn't be that big of a deal. I'm sorry. Now, if it were something that we hadn't been exposed to, then you could have something there. Because that's the same thing as, like, what happened with the Native Americans and, like, smallpox. Because they had never been exposed to smallpox before. They hadn't gotten the chance to develop immunities to it. Unlike Europeans who were around smallpox for fucking ages, and it's just like, yeah, who the fuck cares? It's basically asymptomatic at that point. So if there was some kind of, like, ancient virus that we knew literally nothing about, and that we had never been exposed to before, then yes, you can call that a plot to your bad movie.
Even more
and set it in the 90s or whatever.
Number 1, mammoths. We all know that mammoths once roamed the earth. What we still fall short of, however, is actually bringing them back to life. When cloning was first confirmed to be potentially viable, the fad went viral, with Dolly the sheep becoming an overnight sensation. Since then, the fuss has died down, with technological shortcomings currently holding us back from the science.
So this is not an extinct animal that may still be alive. It's, hey, when are we bringing the mammoth back already? Like, hey, we could bring them back. That's what all the pop science articles I read told me. When are we gonna do it? Huh? Huh? Science? Poke, poke, poke. Touch! Don't touch!
We're keeping our fingers crossed that science will one day be able to bring prehistoric creatures back to life. And there, you have 5 prehistoric creatures that may still be alive.
Pardon? Is this like WikiHow for sex? I don't think this person on the bottom is enjoying it. Look at that face. That's not a happy face. Is this WikiHow for rape? Yeah, they don't even look conscious. Is this WikiHow for date rape? That's fucked up. Yeah, I have to know what the deal is with I'm still alive.
Parents have some concerns or some.
I have to know. I want to see the skeleton boy. What is that thumbnail, man? Okay, thank you. Hold up. I've seen like a lot of these. Okay, these kids are just chained up. This guy's like, what's with all the chains? Oh, there he is. There's skeleton boy. Look at the size of this fucking dog. Look how big it is. Wait, this is the same thing. This is the same like AI generated thumbnail of a guy being dragged out of the water by chains. This guy's got his pants down and the girl's just sitting there like, Is this fetish stuff? Okay, this one's my favorite. This one is my favorite. He's 12, retard! And then this guy's fucking face. Oh. He called me Jew. This kid's really happy about seeing her boobies. I ate all the kids. Honey, I ate the kids. The fact that they keep using kids in all these fucking thumbnails is like, it feels very exploitative. Call me crazy. When dumb criminals try to pull guns on cops. It's like a 5-year-old kid saying, die, bitch! The cop isn't even holding a gun. She doesn't have anything. Dad wants me dead. Gary! There's a bomb strapped to my chest and it's gonna go off in 3 seconds unless you take a bath! This is incredible. These thumbnails are a work of art as far as I'm concerned. Like, there's so many hours of content of this. There's hours of it. You could watch this shit for days and not even make a dent in it. Get off me, monkeys. I still own 4 slaves. Okay, these seem almost normal. Mostly, except this one, because what the fuck is going on here? And then it's just like some clickbait garbage, top 20 list or something. And then they just do like body cam stuff. And then it's body cam stuff with like horrible AI generated thumbnails. I still love Skeleton Boy here. I'm still alive! No, you're not. You'll be stone cold dead in a moment. I think I'll go for a walk. People just like garbage. What can you do? I mean, I know what I can do, and that's make a couple $100 extra off it a month, so keep it up, assholes. Except for you. This guy, stop. Stop what you're doing. Just forever. Stop. That's our sludge. I think we had a good sludge today. I think we sludged it up good. That's our sludge. Tune in next sludge. Sludge it up.